Hello, and welcome back to the Tea and a Buddy podcast. I'm Dominic.
And I'm Erica.
And today's episode is going to be our news and pop culture episode, where we're going to be talking about news and pop culture things and what's going on in the news and pop culture and pop culture and pop culture.
Not so much news.
Not so much news at this point.
We've had enough news.
I think you've had enough news, yes. I mean, well, we'll try to stick to pop culture news and not hard-hitting, gritty news, because you get that anywhere, really. I mean, you're not listening to us for the news unless you've got no access to anything else.
No, that being said, before we get lied again, we recently, it recently came to our attention that apparently we have not been abundantly clear as to whether or not we support the current administration. And so we just want to say no, we do not.
No, we do not. We don't support it.
We want to make that completely clear.
No, because we're hiding out here in our cave in Arizona because we're being hounded by the current administration.
No, we cannot even make jokes about that, actually.
We cannot make jokes about that.
No, we don't. We don't.
Before we get light.
Yeah, so. Yeah. We just want to make that clear. And if that upsets any of you, sorry, but you don't have to listen to us.
Well, I don't think they are listening to us, really.
Yeah,
I think they know by now.
I think so, yeah.
They know I eat croissants. They don't like that.
Our regular listeners, I think, could pick up on it. Yeah.
And we had a lot of support when we released the statement.
Pick up what we're laying down.
Pick up what we're putting down.
That's it.
And we put up a statement because, we had a few people going, oh, so you don't like Trump then, and all this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And it was kind of like, nope.
Yeah.
I thought you figured that one out. I mean, maybe we've been too ambiguous. I don't know.
If we have been, it has not been on purpose.
Because a while back, during the first time he was president, we had a couple of people, but one in particular, go off on us when I made a very light kind of Trump joke.
Yeah.
To them.
I can't even really... You made it to them.
I made it to them. It wasn't something...
podcast.
No, it was either... No, I don't think it was in an episode.
We won't be too specific about who the person
Well, they've blocked us. And
they've blocked us.
And, I've got to be deported and all this now. They're seeing to that, But, it was that kind of thing. It was just kind of like out of nowhere that this person just turned on us for both barrels. And it was kind of like, oh dear,
there's a
lot... Oh, no!
There's a lot of...
Anyway.
There's a lot of people out there, though, I think, that try to be ambiguous in order to maintain a certain audience size. And that is not
Yeah, and we're looking at you, British content creators. We're looking at you.
If we have been ambiguous, it was not on purpose. It is just purely for the fact that we... Listen, I'm looking at the news all day long. I'm stressing out about it all day long, every day. I need somewhere to talk about things that are not the current state of affairs. So
what you're saying is you need some light, toey relief.
Yes. Yeah,
and that's thanks to a friend of ours from way back.
And I think that everybody does. So when you tune in to our podcast and you hear us talking about silly things or things that don't matter or food or drink or like what we're going to talk about in just a minute, the Blake Lively and
I hadn't announced that yet.
Baldoni,
you just ruined it now.
Case.
We're going to have a big announcement. We're going to have Justin on here to tell his side of the story, Blake on here to tell her side of the story.
Please don't get annoyed at us for not covering hard-hitting news because we feel like you can get that, and you do get that.
You've got your own.
You've
got other podcasts. So this is light.
Yeah, that's
tea
not
buddy
what we're
relief.
About. That's not what this podcast is about. That does not mean though that we do not hold a position
or an opinion
on what is going on.
Yes,
and so we just want to make that 100% clear. We're in no ways trying to be ambiguous about it. We do not support the current administration in any way, shape, or form. And that's it. So,
we didn't vote for
them. Episode. Yeah.
Blake Lively Justin Baldoni, it ends with them. It ends with them.
I'm afraid it does.
Or it has ended for them.
It ends for all of us.
It ends for all of us. They are going to take over.
This is it. It may be the end of Hollywood. You know what? It's so funny because at a time where, obviously we were talking about the news 2 seconds ago, at a time where all of that is going on, you have all of this going on, and I've seen so many people who, I feel like at this point in time, we're at a really interesting, time in history where people are starting to, I feel like anyway, I don't know if you've kind of seen the same thing, that people are starting to, it feels like anyway, be over celebrities.
Yeah, I guess so.
Are you getting that at all?
Well, I don't so much think...
Just my algorithm?
I don't so much think that it's over celebrities. Mm-mm. It's more the fact that everybody thinks they can be a celebrity now thanks to social media.
Well...
Oh, I've got 15 million followers, I'm a celebrity.
Well, that's why. That's why, though.
And it's like...
Because everybody's a celebrity now, celebrities no longer matter.
I follow Dominic and Erica of Tea and a Buddy, they're celebrities.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's like...
To who?
It's like, I don't know, but I wish I had their money. It's just like, to who? And it's like, exactly, but people say that about influencers and stuff that you see on social media. Just like, oh, we're famous. We're famous online.
But I think that genuinely is
to who?
Social media killed the Hollywood celebrity. You know? Basically. But I see so many people they want to cancel the Kardashians. We're going on blocking sprees. We're going to block all these people. We're not giving them our money. We're not going to see them in films. We don't care about their stuff that is in the media.
Yeah.
There's stuff that's going on. We don't care. We've got more important things to worry about. But at the same time, people need something else to focus on sometimes.
They need some light drama relief,
melodrama that just doesn't matter to their lives.
Yeah, it's not going to affect them one way or the other.
It's the same reason people
just get the popcorn out and watch this unfold.
It's the same reason people indulge in gossip about people that they don't really know.
Yes,
because it's something drama. It's drama that's happening to someone else.
Yes,
good.
I'm not involved. I'm just watching from a little bubble or whatever, and I'm just eating my popcorn or whatever,
so
my snacks.
All of our lives are so full of drama at the moment with everything in the news. It's let's just what is tell me everything I need to know about this Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni.
Yes,
case,
no, people love all this.
Yeah,
I mean, it's basically started with a film. Mm-hmm. It was an adaptation of Colleen Hoover's novel.
Colleen.
It's
Colleen.
Colleen.
It's not Colleen, like Colleen? The town up the road.
No, not Killeen.
Yeah.
Colleen. Yeah, Colleen.
Colleen Hoover.
So Justin Baldoni, he directed this movie, It Ends With Us, mm-hmm. which was an adaptation of Colleen Hoover's book.
Yeah.
Same name.
Which we have not read.
Which we haven't read.
We haven't seen the film.
I've seen a lot of people saying it's basically a book for people who don't read books. Apparently. Kind of like...
I see people ripping her online all the time. I've never read one of her books.
Are they ripping her because her name is Colleen and not Colleen?
No, they're just, I don't know. I mean, I have no judgment because I have not read one of her books. So,
I've just seen people say, it's kind of like dorky fan fiction that I used to write 20 years ago. Back in the early 2000s.
Yeah.
That you'd see online. And, nowadays, teenagers aren't reading fan fiction or anything like that. So they think this is great. Yeah. But it's basically, I've seen better on the internet 20 years ago.
Oh, yeah.
That kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Kind of like the Twilight series. People said that was a terrible...
Yeah, that was...
Terribly written.
That was a fan fiction, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I've never read those.
But they said it was terribly written. But... that's what they were saying.
That was a criticism other people had.
That was a criticism other people had about it, and there's another criticism they have of Colleen Hoover's book.
You're British. You can just pronounce it.
Colleen.
Unless she tells you
Colleen. But anyway, Justin Baldoni, he adapted this, and they got Blake Lively to play the
Baldoni.
Baldoni or Baldoni. Is it Baldoni or Baldoni?
Baldoni is what I hear.
Oh, when I see it bald, I'm just like, bald.
Baldoni. Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
Maybe he wants to be called Baldoni. Maybe his ego's like, no, I'm like Hyacinth Bucket.
The people I see talking about it say Baldoni, so I really have no idea.
Yeah, Baldoni, okay.
For anybody who doesn't know him, though, because I think there's a lot of people who don't.
Yeah.
He was in Jane the Virgin.
Yeah, he was the
that's like the main thing he's known for. I have absolutely no idea anything else he's been in.
Blake Lively, of course, she was in Gossip Girl.
Yeah.
Serena van der Woodsen, isn't it?
Do you think most people know who Blake Lively is, even if they've never seen her in anything, though?
Maybe. Maybe if they know Ryan Reynolds. Because she's married to Ryan Reynolds and they've got 4 children.
I saw a debate where people were saying, oh, is she A-list? Would we consider her A-list? And I don't know. She's not been in any like...
massive...
blockbusters or like Academy
I looked up her IMDb
anything.
And I'm just kind of like, she hasn't been in anything that huge.
Yeah. She was in Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants.
That was where she got her start.
Oh, yeah.
I think. Her father was an actor and a director. Yeah.
Okay.
So, and her mother, I think, was in the business too. So, yeah, she had that upbringing. She got cast, I think her father directed The Sandman in 1998, and she was obviously cast as in a role in that. And then, she was coming out of high school.
Is that a horror movie, The Sandman?
I'm not sure, actually.
Yeah, I don't know.
It sounds like but it might have been a different Sandman, actually. A different one.
Mr. Sandman.
Bring me a dream. Yeah. But anyway, so she was a kid in that, and then she got Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants.
Yeah.
And then she got Gossip Girl, and, that was a big success. And then I think it was around that time she met Ryan Reynolds, and they got married, and his career was taking off.
Yeah.
So, and obviously she kind of just, took a back seat to that. And she's always done bits, and she's done bits and pieces here. I thought, oh, well, she just kind of quit acting and, only did stuff here.
Yeah, no, I watched
her last big role, though, her last lead role was in the rhythm section in 2020.
Okay.
I'm not talking about, like, because she was in If and Deadpool and Wolverine.
No, I saw something, I don't know when it was from, maybe it was from before 2020. I saw something I watched some movie. You
Cafe
didn't watch
Society?
It with me.
Woody Allen?
No.
She had a bit in that, yeah.
On Netflix, where she was like this crazy B word. And, what's her name? The little, oh God.
The little
woman.
The little woman.
I can't remember who else was in it, but she's a tiny Anna Kendrick.
Oh yeah, that sounds right.
Who's Anna Kendrick?
She's an actress, but I just remember her.
Is she from? Oh yes, that's her.
You're gonna miss me when I'm gone.
Yes.
She did that thing. Yeah.
Yeah. Pitch Perfect.
Pitch Perfect.
Yeah. So that was her. She's in a movie with her, and it was actually it was a little bit of like a, what do you call those? Like
thrillers. Like
a thriller. Yeah, like a thriller, I guess.
Plot twist thriller.
Yeah, like a mind.
A mind.
My words are not.
Yes, no, I know there's a word for it.
But to me that looked recent-ish, but
the
I
rhythm,
guess not,
yeah, the rhythm section that was produced by Barbara Broccoli.
I've never even heard of that.
It was in 2020, so it got buried pretty fast because of COVID.
Yeah.
But it was like, it had Sterling K. Brown in it. It had a bunch of other people, and she was playing the lead in it. She was supposed to be English, but apparently her accent went all over the place.
Oh no!
And she had like short hair and everything. Yeah, so it was kind of like a James Bond film, but not. And she was like, her parents were killed, and she had to go off and revenge and all that kind of stuff. But she hadn't. That was the last kind of like big movie that she did where she played the lead.
Yeah.
And then now she's doing It Ends With Us.
Yeah.
And it really might end with them.
Yeah.
Really, because of this lawsuit that, it started coming out when they started promoting the film. they started giving her a bit of grief because she was kind of promoting it as like, oh yeah, it's happy-go-lucky, it's really cool, it's da-da-da. And they were like, wait a minute, she's abused in this.
Yeah.
What's going on? Because
there's domestic violence at the core of this story.
The director, Justin, who plays the abuser in it, Ryle, I think his name is, he was kind of, oh yes, and the themes in it are very dark, and
we wanted to handle it very
carefully and everything. But everybody was like, you'd think Blake was in a different movie. It's like she's promoting like Barbie.
Yeah, I mean, again, we have not read the book. We have not seen the movie. We actually just looked for it the other day to try to watch it because I've seen so much talk about these lawsuits.
Yes. Every day there's something new now. But yeah, there's drama erupted on that.
Yeah. So I started seeing that originally, and I think I told you about it. I was like, oh God, everybody's like giving Blake Lively a hard time because she's promoting this movie.
And she wasn't really promoting it with her lead character.
She just wanted to talk about like what she had on and like, oh, haha, giggly, like whatever. And people who had read the book were like, what is going on? Like,
yeah, what's going on? And also the promos were like, oh, they're not together. They're not promoting this film together.
Yeah.
It's not, they're not doing talk shows together or anything.
Even on red carpets.
On red carpets, they were kind of
completely by himself, and the rest of the cast was like there with
and
arms
then they were
around
like,
each other.
Oh yeah, this is because there was a problem with him.
Yeah.
And so it came out.
Everybody was kind of going, oh, what did he do?
He did something.
The cast hates him.
Yeah, the rest of the cast hate him. They don't follow him.
Yeah.
And so it eventually started coming out, and he had to release a statement saying, oh, it's just different, I just want to, this is not about me, it's about them, and, about the women, and it's all for them, and everything. But then someone kind of hinted that he was a problem, or there was a problem during filming, and apparently there was. Apparently Blake's made that allegation during filming that, oh yeah, she made demands, basically.
Yeah.
And then, but made an allegation of sexual harassment.
Well, I think the first thing, I don't know what, she said, she said something first. I can't remember what. And then he came back with a few things about her.
She said, "Oh, he's trying to smear me."
Whatever. Yeah, no. She said something first about him though. Before she said there was sexual harassment. I can't remember what she said.
But the New York Times wrote it up.
Yeah, it was like she said something, and then he said something, and then she sued him. And was like, in that lawsuit was like...
Well, he filed against... Yeah, I think she sued him for something for, like... I don't know if it was the sexual harassment thing. But then he started... He filed a lawsuit, a $250 million lawsuit against the New York Times over Blake Lively's story.
Yeah.
Basically, it was terrible on set, and...
Yeah.
And he's a problem, and...
But basically everybody, that's what it was. Yeah, she came out, maybe that was the first thing. She came out with that, and everybody was like,
because TikTok were basically having
against her.
Against her. They were digging up old interviews with her when she was like, oh, it looks like she's being a bitch to so-and-so, and it looks like she's doing this, and oh, she's terrible, oh, what's going on here?
Yeah.
So she had to come out and say, oh, no, it's him. He's smearing us.
Yeah.
He's perpetrating this campaign. That's probably what it was. The first thing she said.
Yeah, maybe so, yeah.
And then the New York Times were like, oh, well, we looked into this, and yeah, there was a culture on set, and apparently he was sexually harassing her, and they signed something to agree they're going to stop doing that.
Yeah, because then
carry on, because she wasn't going to film anymore.
I suddenly saw all these creators then going, oh, God.
This is heating up. This is getting messy.
No, they were like going, oh, we want to apologize.
We want to apologize to Blake Lively.
Yeah.
Apologize to Blake Lively. Everybody apologize to Blake Lively. And then he comes in with this, Justin Baldoni, very bad man.
Yeah.
Cancel Justin Baldoni right now.
Yeah.
And then he comes out with all this, like, no, this is not how it happened. Yeah. This is how it happened.
Yeah.
And
so it becomes a he said, she said, yeah.
And then he sued, and then it turns out that Ryan Reynolds was involved in some way.
I was going to mention that. I remember that was another thing about the red carpets. That Ryan Reynolds was on the red carpet with her, and he was wah-hey-wah-hoing to all the to the
and they were
press
like,
and stuff.
This
and
is not.
He even had Hugh Jackman on.
He made Hugh Jackman come
along, and they were there. And I remember somebody going, "Are you in the film? Are you in the movie?" You know, and they're kind of like joking and whatever. And it was kind of weird, like. Why is he being so visible at her? I mean, obviously they're married. Yeah. But usually that doesn't
She wanted
happen.
it to be... She wanted... I think she... You know, in the lawsuit it says she keeps mentioning commercially. Commercially this, commercially that, you know.
What does that mean?
She means she wants it to be a commercial success. That. She wanted it, and a lot of people say, she wanted this movie to be her Barbie moment. You know, like, she wanted it to be like... She wanted to, like...
As big as Barbie.
As big as Barbie. Okay. #1 at the box office.
Yeah.
Smashed Ryan and Deadpool and everything out of the water.
Because as far as
She's back.
Because as far as I could tell by what everybody was saying about Colleen Hoover as a writer...
Yeah.
This probably is a movie that should have just gone direct to streaming in the first place.
It's a little bit Harlan Coben.
Like, it didn't seem like something that was really, like... cinematic release worthy, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, and so he started suing Blake and Ryan for alleging defamation and extortion, and he had all these texts, and he released the raw footage of like that because she was saying, in this scene, and he was doing this, and he was doing that.
Everything she alleged, apparently, he came back with
receipts
evidence
against, yes.
Yeah. Evidence of what really happened, and I'm doing air quotes there, because we weren't there, so we don't know, you know.
People are saying, I'm believing Blake in this, because it's very much what, like, happened with Amber Heard and Johnny Depp. He hired Depp's PR team.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, apparently, because, you know, he hired them as a crisis PR thing, because it was like this was bubbling over now.
Yeah.
And he thought, they're both gonna try and bully me out of work.
Yeah. And apparently his agency did drop him.
His agency dropped him, and he claims it was because Ryan Reynolds pulled them aside at a red carpet and said, you better drop him now.
And I mean, like, if you're looking at this from an outside point of view, and we're not taking sides because we were not there, once again... But it's like, if your agency's dropped you, and they're the ones who get you work, right? Like,
yeah, you're gonna be...
You've got nothing to lose.
You've got nothing to lose, yeah.
So why not defend yourself, you know, to the end, basically? Like, just like, it doesn't matter anymore. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I mean, I don't blame him. I would do that too, especially if I was innocent. It's just like, no, absolutely not. You know, you've ruined my reputation. You know, he's kind of just getting started, in my opinion.
As a director, And he's got,
go.
And he's got, like, someone backing him, the Wayfarer Studios, the billionaire guy.
Yeah.
But again, it's kind of like the powerhouse of Ryan Reynolds and, you know, the Hollywood and stuff, you know, they're fighting back against this. Because... There's so many theories about what the truth is here, because, you know, it's at this point it's like she's saying he sexually harassed her.
But when?
He's saying that never happened, she's lying, and she was difficult on set, and she was trying to direct the movie, and she's got her own cut of the movie, she wanted to edit it herself and all this.
What I want someone to ask is, when did, like, the ultimate crime, I don't want to call it a crime, but when did the event happen?
Because people...
Because he's released texts that they had, like, many texts. Late at night,
verging on inappropriate.
They're both married. I mean, we're not inappropriate, but you could get little senses of flirtiness.
Yes.
You know, not like blatant. There was nothing blatant.
There was nothing blatant. I think.
But if you go through the text and you look at them, you can get. I mean, you know, we're all adults. We know what flirting is like.
Yeah.
You know?
There was something about suppositories. That's Blake Lively and his suppositories, ladies and gentlemen.
But my point was that their texts back and forth seem friendly.
Yeah, they seem like, oh, you know, it's kind of like, but there's people who defend that, say, oh, well, she's absolutely going to put her best foot forward because, you know, she wants to keep, you know, everything professional and lighthearted and stuff. So we don't know what was going on. But
I've seen an interview with, I can't remember what the woman's, like, expertise was, but something to do in Hollywood. And she said there's obviously sexual harassment on set is not a new thing. Yeah. You know, there's intimacy coordinators to try to curb that. You know,
apparently she didn't sign any contracts with that.
Yeah, which she has texts telling her the intimacy coordinator is here. Can you
go sign it?
Can you come meet? Well, can you come meet her? Because I guess what the intimacy coordinator does is like they sit down and they agree to a certain number of kisses or a certain ways of touching that are agreed upon as being okay and part of the scene.
Yeah,
and anything beyond that is not. Them, yeah, you know, and that's how they differentiate. Like, okay, this was agreed upon. We were gonna do this. That's gonna be in the scene. You know, him brushing the hair out of her face or whatever. But she never met with the intimacy. She tells him, okay, yeah, I'll do it later.
But apparently never did,
and then didn't do it. So, what then? What are they supposed to do in scenes where you know? We're going to have to kiss. We're going to have to be in bed together. What are they supposed to, what is the options besides ad-libbing?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I've seen people say, well, Blake didn't read the book. Apparently she says somewhere in some interview that
I didn't read it.
And they're saying in the one scene where she alleges he was kissing her neck and he caressed her hair from her face or whatever. Apparently those are things that actually happen in the book.
And it was during like a montage scene, you know, where they're directing like a montage scene where it shows like them falling for each other and whatever. And you can tell, and he released the raw footage of that, and she's all very kind of like, I just feel like we should be talking. And she's kind of like, and people are like, oh, she's kind of freaked out by this. It's like she's like a new actress.
Yeah. People were saying, which I thought was interesting, that they felt like her saying, we should be talking was like because she felt uncomfortable.
Yes.
Because she felt uncomfortable with him, with the things he was doing.
But it was like he was in character.
He was in character. They were shooting.
Because people were like, oh yeah, he came straight out of character when he was like yelled cut or whatever. Like, yeah, okay, what are we doing now? And she was all like taken aback.
Yeah, like she had forgotten they were filming.
Yes.
Yeah, no, and to be fair, you and I said that to each other before I saw a lot of other people had the same reaction to that image, you know.
And then it was like, oh, keep her shoes in, you know.
That she kind of looked like,
are you getting my shoes or whatever?
I forgot we were filming here, because they're like looking into each other's eyes and getting close like they're going to kiss. And, you know, he's just doing the character-y things. He does put his face down at her neck at one point, but you can hear him laughing. And it does not sound like he's caressing her neck with his lips, like she said, you know.
Yeah, and she goes, I probably smell or something. She says, a smell of...
Well, he says, am I getting you with my beard or whatever? She says, I'm probably getting my spray tan on you. Ew. And he says, it smells good. He's like, oh, don't worry about it. It smells good. She makes it sound like very creepy, though. Like he's like, your spray tan smells so good.
Yes.
Yes. When you watch the footage, he's just like, oh, no, it smells good. It's fine.
Smells good.
You know, yeah.
No, we don't need to be talking.
Yeah, it doesn't seem.
They're never going to hear what we're saying anyway, because this is the music's going to be over this.
Yeah.
And everybody's like, the background actors are doing their thing.
But she thinks, she's like, but it's romantic. Oh, they're talking. What are they saying? Blah, blah, blah. She's just talking and talking, which that could be nervous chatter. But to get back to what I started to say.
But it's like nervous chatter. It's like, you're an actress. It's professionalism.
But the argument is that she could be nervous because she feels intimidated because he's been sexually harassing her. She feels awkward. She feels, you know.
I mean, considering the text that we talk about, like the Khaleesi text, and I can have my dragons.
Well, okay. Before you get to that, let me just say to back up because I keep getting sidetracked. No, what I was going to say is I saw this interview with this woman that had some sort of professional experience in the film industry, and she said that there are people, when you are feeling comfortable, even if it's nothing to do with like sexual harassment or whatever, if you're just not getting along with your co-star in a film or whatever, you have to obviously film the scenes with them, but you do not have to communicate outside of that whatsoever. So for them to say, oh, well, she was being nice and cordial to him in the text, this woman is saying, you go through a
personal assistant or an intermediary or a production assistant.
You go through someone where you do not have to communicate with the other person outside of set whatsoever. Like, not once do you have to do that. If you report, listen, I don't feel comfortable, I don't like this person, I don't want to have any kind of contact with this person. They say, okay, we'll set you up with so-and-so. You tell me what you want me to say to them, and we'll go back and forth like that. Yeah. And apparently there was no kind of like, I mean, as far as we know. There
was no intermediary,
Yeah. So then you have these weird texts where they're talking about suppositories, they're talking about Khaleesi.
Well, that was, the Khaleesi was after they'd started the whole, like, the
after she'd gotten Ryan involved.
She'd gotten Ryan involved, yes. And she was all, oh yeah, I'm Khaleesi and my friends are the dragons. And she apparently implied that Taylor Swift was going to take him down.
Yeah. I saw someone said... Now, I neither one of us, again, read all
179 pages
of
Yes, it was lawsuit. Just bizarre.
But apparently, a couple of times, or at least once, they forgot to censor Taylor's name.
Yeah, so everybody was like, oh it's Taylor Swift.
It's Taylor she's talking about. Which, that's just a weird... It's a weird kind of...
It's a weird flex.
Yeah.
It's like, why would you do that?
What in the world? And then, that also kind of makes me feel like, why would this guy, Justin Baldoni, who nobody knows, why would he feel... And not to say that it doesn't happen. It could have happened. But to me, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense for somebody who nobody really knows... He happens to be directing this movie, but it's a little movie that, you know, it's not a blockbuster. It's not going to be up for an Academy Award or anything.
Yeah.
He's directing this movie, but he's not Blake Lively, who is married to Deadpool.
He's not married to Ryan Reynolds.
Why would he?
Well, I think Deadpool is very small in his thing. He's owner of Wrexham now, and that's catapulted him into worldwide fame.
But do you see what I mean? Like, where would he feel like the confidence to sexually harass someone who is, you know, again in air quotes, like above him? In most ways, you know what I mean?
Well, yeah, in power wise, yeah.
Usually, it's the opposite that's happening.
Yeah.
It's the people in power who are doing this to little unknown actresses who are not going to be able to.
And in some of the raw footage, you know, where you got that thing where she had to have her shoes in the shot, and then they panned up, and then you hear her say something to him, but you can't really hear what it is. And then he said something like, "I'm not going to let you. You're not going to direct this movie. You know, you're not."
I don't think he says movie. He just says, "I'm not going to let you direct here."
Direct here. You know, you're not directing here. Okay. And you know, whatever she says, but it's like, considering that when Ryan got involved, it was like, okay, fire all the editors and stuff like that. Blake is going to edit this movie, and it's going to be her cut and Justin's cut.
Yeah.
Justin was allowed to have his cut because, I mean, that's
because he's the director.
He's the director, and it's like, you know, that's the thing, you know, but she wanted to be in the edit. She wanted a producer credit.
Yeah.
And yeah, she fired all the score, the composer and the editor, and brought in people that were known for working with Ryan.
Yeah.
And it was just kind of like, yeah, she just wanted to kind of make this her own movie. That's why he was probably promoting it too.
And my thing is like, where did they get the authority to do all of this stuff?
Ryan came up and said, "Oh, you know, that's it. You know, I can call people."
Yeah.
He apparently berated Justin on the sexual harassment stuff.
Yeah.
Apparently verbally berated him at some meeting.
Yeah.
And apparently that was an ambush kind of thing. They didn't know what the hell was going on there, you know. They were just like, they turned up to this meeting, Ryan Reynolds suddenly there, he goes, "Oh, stop perving on my wife," whatever he was saying, you know.
Yeah.
And it was just kind of like, okay, what? Okay, yeah, okay, we'll stop doing that.
Yeah.
You know, let's just continue the movie. You know, it was kind of a bizarre kind of thing for them.
Yeah.
But at this point, it's kind of like people believe Blake and say, "Oh yeah, you know, he's just doing a Darvo."
Well, there's a couple of things that she alleged that are like, you know, she alleged, oh, he burst into her trailer when she was pumping one time.
Yeah, apparently
and then
that
he provided the text where she told him to come to her trailer.
There was another guy, Heath or something his name is. He was like a production guy. I guess he was one of the producers. He was apparently bursting in. And
okay, but that's not Justin.
Yeah, I know, but he's getting lumped into this now.
Yeah.
You know? I think what happened is my opinion is that they were kind of getting close. Ryan found out. Soured the whole atmosphere. Things turned sour. Affair was off. You know, that's it. Done.
Yeah.
You know, there's not going to be an affair now. Thanks a lot, Blake.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot, Ryan.
Yeah.
It's like, and then things just got nasty from then on, because she was kind of like, "Oh, well, this is my movie. I want to have this movie. I want it to be number one at the box office. I want to get best lead actress."
I mean, when you're looking at their texts, they're like texting. Well, the suppositories one that you mentioned.
Yeah, that was.
It's like late. It's like late at night. It's like 11 something at night.
Yeah.
And he's just like, "Oh, I love Sentimental Blake," or something like that. Like, and she replies, "I don't know her.
I've never met her."
And he goes, "I like A-hole Blake too." And she goes, "I know her. So do my suppositories," or something, which is just like, wow. Somebody said, "Oh, again, that was trying to, like, take the sexiness out of the situation," which maybe, you know, or maybe it was her trying to be, like, her husband, you know, kind of humor. And he just says, "Haha, good night," you know, and that's it. But like,
good night.
But they were having kind of late night conversations like that. She invited him over and took a picture of him holding her baby, like at her house. They apparently had some sort of late night rewrites or something like that.
Yeah.
Over wine. They were drinking wine.
Well, she'd have to be in the editing suite with him too if she demanded to be editing on the film.
Would she have to be with him though?
No, he has to be there because I mean that's his private editing time. You know, she apparently forced herself into that. She burst into that. No, it's like they allowed it. They you know, and she'd already said, "Oh yeah, sexual harassment, blah blah blah." It's kind of like the last thing you'd want to be is in a small room with a guy, and it was kind of, you know, the guy that's been sexually harassing you.
Yeah.
So it's like everything's a little bit like, what is the truth here? And we've all got to wait for everything to be released.
Again, if you're pumping,
get the texts.
If you're pumping, are you really going to again invite the man who's been sexually harassing you
to come
into your trailer while you're doing that?
Yeah.
Like, no. I don't think so.
I don't know. Yeah,
it's like if you're friendly and you're getting along and everything, like as if the texts suggest, then sure.
We've got the texts.
You know, he's talking to her about his wife several times. She's talking about Ryan. It's just like, Yeah, they seem friendly, and it just, like, something happened, obviously. And yeah, I've seen a lot of people say, "Oh, I think either Ryan or
Ryan
his
found
wife
the texts.
Somebody was like, these are seeming a little bit too flirty.
Crossing the line here. I'm gonna have to come up there.
She and Ryan met on set, I think.
He was still with
something, didn't they?
He
was still with Scarlett Johansson.
Yeah, they met on a movie, and she was with someone else, wasn't she?
Yeah, I think so.
And then they got together shortly after it. Yeah,
but. So, I mean, that does happen. A lot of co-stars...
Was it Green Lantern?
I have no idea.
I don't know. When did he do Green Lantern? I think that was a long time ago, actually, he did Green Lantern.
Yeah, I'm not really sure. Anyway, it is messy. It's messy.
It's messy.
And who knows? The truth probably will never come out, because...
Yeah, I mean,
it's her version of the truth and his version of the truth.
And so someone said, whoever wins... They're both screwed.
Yeah, they've both lost at this point.
They've both lost at this point. And Ryan's going to have to do some serious damage control on his PR.
Yeah.
With this,
I don't know. I think the public has short memories a lot of the time.
Yeah.
Especially with, again, to tie it back to the news that we were talking about at the beginning. I think especially with everything in the news.
Yeah. It's getting buried.
This'll fade away, and people will go, "Oh yeah, you remember when all that went in the world? Whatever happened with that?"
Yeah.
But yeah, so let us know if you've been following this case and what you think happened.
And now, time for a short quiz on everything.
Quiz of everything.
The big fat quiz of everything that's been happening this month. Anyway.
Okay. Yep.
Or pop culture, yes. So are
you going to quiz me every month? Is it just going to be you quizzing me?
Well, I
should quiz you sometimes.
Yeah, you quiz me next week. I'll quiz you this week.
Next month.
I've got the questions and the answers, thankfully, here.
Okay.
So yeah, my first question is: Senate candidate Sam Parker called for this Texas actress to be deported this week. Who is the actress in question?
Oh my gosh!
There you go for a hard-hitting question.
I have no idea. I haven't heard this. I don't want to know. Texas actress?
Yeah. Big clue in that there. Because I could have said this actress to be deported. It's like, there's a lot of them.
Yeah, but there's a lot of Texas actresses too. Let's say Eva Longoria is quite...
we're on the right...
Quite liberal.
We're on the right track there, yeah.
Okay, who is it?
Selena Gomez.
Oh my gosh! What in the world?
She must have... I'm not really sure of the whole story, but she made a TikTok video or something crying about the deportations and stuff. Because her grandparents were illegal, I think. Yeah. And they got citizenship in 1987. It was like some sort of amnesty thing. And this Senate candidate was like, oh, well, maybe she needs to be deported because she's siding with the illegals. So, yeah.
Okay, next.
The next question is, who is the former Playhouse dweller who posthumously came out in a documentary this month?
Former Playhouse dweller.
Came out as gay in a documentary this month.
God, I don't know. I
posthumously.
I don't know these things. Posthumously, so it's someone that's dead.
Someone's dead.
Someone that's dead. How
former Playhouse dweller.
How do you come out as gay when you're dead?
Well, it's in the documentary, you know.
Okay, I don't know. I have not heard any of these stories. Where did you come up with them?
Paul Rubens, Pee Wee Herman.
Oh.
Yeah, he died in 2023. And there's a...
I guess it doesn't really...
A documentary out now. That's, he bared all for in, just before he died, yeah.
I loved Pee Wee's Playhouse when I was...
You should have got that from former Playhouse dweller. See, I've spent ages on that.
Like someone in the theatre.
I could set questions for pub quizzes, I tell you now. Which global superstar took the stage at New York's iconic Comedy Cellar stage this month to deliver a foul-mouthed set?
New York... Say it again?
Which global superstar
okay.
took the stage at New York's iconic Comedy Cellar stage this month to deliver a foul-mouthed set?
Foul mouth?
Yeah.
And global...
She even had a dig at Trump as well.
Oh, you said she. Oh, gosh.
I'm giving you all the clues here.
A female comedian Comedian.
I didn't say she was a comedian. I said she was a global superstar.
I don't know.
Madonna.
Oh, what?
She's done it before with Amy Schumer. She's big mates with Amy Schumer.
Interesting.
See, that's Amy Schumer's text people saying, "Oh, I'm like Khaleesi and I'm going to set my Madonna on you."
Yeah.
Next question is, which football club owner was blasted this month for claiming he and his wife were working class?
Oh, God. Football club owner.
Yeah.
Football, American football or soccer?
Soccer.
No, you have to tell. Oh, God. It wasn't David Beckham, was it?
No. No, because I think that would be more which wife of a football club owner, which former Spice Girl was blasted for claiming she was working class. No, which football club owner was blasted this month for claiming he and his wife were working class?
I don't know.
Your friend and mine, and Justin Baldoni's, Ryan Reynolds.
What?
He apparently said, "Oh, me and Blake, yeah, we're working class, mate." That's what we are. We came up from the bootstraps. I tell you that now.
I mean,
son.
You know, if
never forgot where we came from.
If the fires in California have reminded us all of anything, it's that there's a lot of people involved in Hollywood, in movies and TV and stuff, and they don't actually make a lot of money, most of them.
No, you just think, oh, well, they're an actress or an actor.
If you are...
I've seen them in a movie.
The main character of a Marvel franchise.
Yeah.
You're all right.
If you can co-own a football club, you're doing okay.
Yes. Wow. Unbelievable.
Yes.
That was the last thing they really needed, to be honest.
We're working class, mate.
I'm surprised that wasn't more of a headline, actually. Yeah.
Which actress said taking a 10-year break were the best years of her life as she made a comeback this month in the aptly named Netflix movie Back in Action?
I want to say Pamela Anderson. Oh,
nope.
All right. I don't know. I just said Pamela Anderson because I just heard an interview with her on NPR, so...
I mean, I don't know if she's taken a 10-year break from acting.
Oh, I don't know. Who is it?
Cameron Diaz.
Oh. Yeah, I guess she's been away.
She's been away.
She's been away.
2014 was the last time she did anything. Right. She's back now with Jamie Foxx in Back in Action.
Okay.
But anyway, that's the end of the quiz.
Yay!
You won. You won a prize.
Let us know how you did if you played along. And we'll be doing that every fourth Tuesday every month.
And it'll alternate between...
From now until we give up.
Yeah. It'll alternate between Quizmaster me and Quizmaster Eric.
Yeah. Did you come up with those questions too?
Yeah, no, I looked at Pop Culture Chat.
I don't know what that
on
means.
Reddit, and I was like, oh, okay, that'll be and that'll be a good question to ask. So there was, yeah.
All right. Thank you all so much for tuning in. We are way over time, so we will wrap it up and let you go. We appreciate your support. As always, be sure to give us a follow on social media. If you don't follow us already, we are at TButty, TEABUTTY, across all socials, and we will talk to you all next time.
See you next time, everybody.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.